NBC 7 News at 6 starts now.
It could be the difference between life and death. A local ambulance company is being fined for failing to meet standard response times in San Diego.
It's a concern, obviously, for the patient care.
Tonight, a plan in place to improve those times and an explanation as to why the delays are happening.
I think they are acting as quickly as they can.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Mullen.
I'm Catherine Garcia. Thanks for being with us. A local ambulance company has to pay nearly $300,000 in fines.
All of this comes after delays in their response times.
In an exclusive report, NBC 7 Investigates reporter Mari Payton has the details. Mari? Rural Metro contracts with the city of San Diego to provide ambulance services. The contract requires a response time standard of 12 minutes or less 90% of the time for emergency calls. From July to September of this year, rural metro ambulances failed to meet those standards in some areas. In emergency situations, every minute counts. And according to this letter from the San Diego Deputy Fire Chief, Rural Metro Ambulance failed to meet mandated emergency response times in 5 out of 8 zones.
It's a concern, obviously, for the patient care.
Those delays affected high-priority patients whose lives were potentially at risk, says Colin Stowell, Assistant Fire Chief.
They are our most acute patients that did not get an ambulance there within 12 minutes.
Rural Metro must pay $291,000 in fines by November 16th. One of the fines, $71,000 for responses greater than 24 minutes. The data shows the company's slowest response was in Southeast San Diego, Zone 6. Last week, Mike Rice, Director of Operations for Rural Metro, submitted a plan to improve response times, saying the company is committed to providing the city of San Diego a world-class EMS system. A spokesperson for the company told NBC 7 Investigates it has, quote, exceeded the citywide response time requirement each and every month. However, because of a local and national paramedic shortage, we have recently been short of our response time goals in select zones.
This is a challenging area to serve, no doubt, with the call volume that we've seen in the increase, the traffic congestion. And
I asked Assistant Chief Colin Stowell if they are looking at individual cases where these delays may have put someone at risk. He said they have, quote, some isolated cases that they are looking into. I'm Mari Payton for NBC 7 Investigates.
Okay, Mari, thanks very much. And for all of you at home, this is a story we will be closely tracking, and we would like to hear from you. If you have had similar experiences or good ones, you can share them on our Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com and search NBC San Diego.
A new report shows rural metro ambulances have failed to meet mandated emergency response times again here in San Diego.
The company recently paid the city of San Diego a fine of almost $300,000 just for failing to meet the required response time of 12 minutes or less 90% of the time.
In October, it missed that goal in even more parts of the city. NBC 7 Investigates reporter Mari Payton joins us with the just released data. We are talking about level 1 and 2 calls, meaning patients in life-threatening situations. Information just received from the city shows that in 6 of the 8 medical response zones, rural metro ambulances didn't make the mandated response times. That's worse than the last report, which showed delayed response times in 5 of the 8 zones during the months of July, August, and September. Tonight, in our exclusive report, NBC 7 Investigates looks at what's called a level 0 situation, where no ambulances are available to respond.
She's conscious but not coherent.
Is she breathing?
Yes, she is.
I have help on the way.
In October, friends of a woman who fell and hit her head dialed 911. While waiting for first responders, they performed CPR.
You want to keep a steady pace. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4. 1,
1,
2.
2, 3, 4.
What is she doing now?
She's like moaning.
Okay, did she wake up?
Okay, the paramedics are here.
A San Diego fire engine with paramedics on board arrived 6.5 minutes after the call was placed. Rural Metro paramedics assigned to the call told dispatch they would be on scene within 10 minutes. That didn't happen according to records obtained by NBC 7 Investigates. The records show the ambulance arrived 24 minutes after the woman's friends called 911. Calls like that one were one of 4 the city released to NBC7 Investigates, detailing when no rural metro ambulances were initially available or the fire department had to transport a patient. According to the city's contract with the ambulance company owned by AMR, ambulances must arrive to a call within 12 minutes, 90% of the time each month.
Is this a house or an apartment?
In September 2015, a San Ysidro resident dialed 911 after a 60-year-old man on the sidewalk showed signs of a possible stroke.
I'm sending the paramedics to help you now.
A San Diego fire engine responded, transporting the patient because a rural metro ambulance never arrived.
We're not having enough ambulances in service on our city streets.
Joseph Ross worked for rural metro as an EMT for a year until he left the company in August. Prior to moving to San Diego, Ross was a firefighter and EMT for the Air Force. Ross says he resigned from rural metro after witnessing what he calls unethical business practices by the company, including rural metro not having enough ambulances staffed to respond to the 911 call volume in San Diego.
To our next speaker, Joseph Ross.
In September, he spoke to the city's public safety committee about the problems he says he witnessed.
It's shocking how close or how often the ambulance level gets to level 0 or close to level 0. What this means is there is no ambulances left in the city.
Ross says he witnessed level 0 alerts sent to emergency personnel on a weekly basis. When in a level 0 situation, a page is sent out to all emergency crews, alerting paramedics on calls to finish as soon as possible so they can be placed back into rotation. NBC7 Investigates asked San Diego Fire how often level 0 situations happen, but the department says it doesn't know because it doesn't keep track.
The city doesn't really understand the full grasp of the issue that they have because all they see is response times.
Ross says he believes this information should be made public by rural metro.
If you have anyone you love, if you have anyone that has ever needed to call 911, or if you ever need to call 911, you should care because it directly affects you and your loved ones.
A spokesperson for rural metro attributes problems with response time goals to a local and national paramedic shortage. NBC7 Investigates reached out to the National Association of State EMS Officials, which oversees EMS agencies across the country. The executive director says they have no evidence of a nationwide paramedic shortage. I'm Mari Payton for NBC7 Investigates.
And in an email sent tonight, a spokesperson for the company wrote, quote, "There has been instances where AMR has reached peak capacity in the system due to call volume spikes, but those events often last only a few minutes before units held over at local hospitals are freed up and inserted back into the system," end quote.